Hi, welcome back to Focal Point AAFR Talk. I am Brian Fisher, your congenial, convivial, and amiable host. You are listening to Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on conservative talk radio. Speaking, just closing the loop on the homosexual issue, I've got a story here from the Christian Post. There was a National Review had a panel over last weekend, and one of the panelists on a discussion that was centered around the topic of building a marriage culture is a guy by the name of Doug Mainwaring, and he is a practicing homosexual. He's out, he's loud, he's proud, he's not hiding it. But he was on this panel because he believes, as a practicing homosexual who was in a heterosexual relationship, in a heterosexual marriage where he fathered children, again, what does that tell you? Sexual preference is changeable. He went from being an active heterosexual, now he's an active homosexual. But what he has come to understand is that children need both a mother and a father. Here's what he said. For a long time, I thought if I could just find the right partner, we could raise my kids together. But it became increasingly apparent to me, even if I found somebody else exactly like me, who loved my kids as much as I do, there would still be a gaping hole in their lives because they need a mom. Now, this is kind of weird, but he's moved back in with his ex-wife, so he's continuing apparently to engage in the homosexual lifestyle, but he's now living again with his ex-wife so that they can co-parent their teenage sons in their own home. He said this, I don't want to see children being engineered for same-sex couples where there is either a mom missing or a dad missing. Somebody needs to stand up for the rights and needs of children in an age when the selfishness of adults seems to be trumping those rights. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's a place to stand on this whole issue of same-sex marriage. One word, kids. What is in the best interest of children? Because that's ultimately what marriage is all about. It's about providing the optimal nurturing environment for children. Here's an active homosexual. So look, I realized kids need both a mom and a dad. I haven't left the homosexual lifestyle, but I care about my children, and I know that what they need is both a mother and a father. There's something that a mother contributes that a father cannot. There's something that a father contributes to the life of a child that a mother cannot. They need both a mom and a dad. And without one or the other, there's what he called, this is a homosexual calling it, a gaping hole in the lives of his children. You know, over in France, they've been debating the issue of same-sex marriage. It looks like it's going to go forward, but there are some homosexuals that are leading the opposition to the normalization of homosexual marriage there, again, for the same reason, children. And what they say, the rights of a child trump the right to a child. That's a very powerful slogan, and it was homosexuals that came up with that in France. The rights of a child. That is the rights of a child to be parented by a mom and a dad in a loving, intact home. That's superior. It trumps the rights of homosexuals to satisfy their own selfish and narcissistic desires, treating children like they were accessories or appendages or something like that. So don't forget that. The rights of a child trump the right to a child. I got a story here indicating that smoking will shorten your lifespan by at least 10 years. 11 years if you're a woman smoker, female smoker, 12 years if you're a male smoker. And think of the billions of dollars that we spend, the public service announcements, the advertising that we ban on television so kids don't take up the habit of smoking. Why? Because it will shorten your lifespan. And I've mentioned this before, but studies have indicated very clearly that active involvement in the homosexual lifestyle will shorten your lifespan by anywhere from 8 to 20 years. Now, are we against children taking up smoking because we hate kids or because we hate smokers? No, we're against it because we love children. We don't want to see their lifespan shortened by 11 or 12 years. We don't want to see that for anybody because we love people. We want them to live a full and healthy and productive life. That's exactly the same thing that motivates us with regard to those that are trapped in the homosexual lifestyle. It will cost them 8 to 20 years of their life expectancy. We don't want that for anybody. We love people too much to let them engage in self-destructive behavior that can shorten their lives lifespan and compromise their health. We love people too much to let that go without at least sounding the alarm and providing them with an alternative, with a way out. And we just saw with Dennis Jernigan, Christian musician, there's a way out through the gospel and the power of Jesus Christ. And by the way, if you're listening and you would like to know more about that way out, you can go to knowhim.afr.net, knowhim.afr.net, and we will help you get in touch with the same Christ that delivered Dennis Jernigan from the bondage of homosexuality. Now, let's turn our attention to the sanctity of life issue just for a second. I want to play a soundbite. Number to call, by the way, if you want to weigh in on this Boy Scout thing in particular. If you want to weigh in on that, 888-589-8840, or the larger issue of homosexuality, 888-589-8840. And again, I want to be very, very clear. What motivates us in our opposition to homosexuality is our love for homosexuals. We are not against homosexuals. We are for them. What we are against is we are against homosexuality because it is destructive. It destroys the soul, body, and spirit of people that engage in it. We don't want to see anybody's life messed up and destroyed and wrecked by sin, whether it's alcoholism or substance abuse or cheating or gambling or adultery or homosexuality. We want people to live a full, satisfied life, and we know that homosexuality interferes with that. So we're against homosexuality. We are for homosexuals. We love them. We want to see them set free. We want to see them delivered. Now, you might have seen this Huggies ad on the Super Bowl. This is a pretty fantastic ad. This is an absolutely great ad. I don't know if you saw it. I actually didn't see it. I must have been reloading my nachos plate when this was airing during the game. It's just a 30-second ad, but this is a Huggies ad. And I want you to listen to it and listen to how pro-life this ad running on the Super Bowl is. Let's listen.
Honey? We're pregnant.
You're going to be a mom.
You're going to be a dad.
There's a little baby there.
Yeah.
There's a human being growing inside your stomach.
Yeah.
Now what?
Introducing Huggies Mommy Answers, the best advice in one place. From the brand New Moms Trust.
So that's a Huggies commercial. They spent millions of dollars to put this ad on the Super Bowl with the most watched television program every year. And here's what the dad says to his pregnant wife, just discovered she's pregnant. There's a little baby in there. There's a human being growing inside your stomach. Did you catch that, Rob? I want us to play that again because this is fantastic. This is amazing. I don't even know if the Huggies people are aware of what they are doing because this is a woman who has just found out that she's pregnant. So this is way, way early in the pregnancy process. I mean, this is a human being. I mean, maybe 6-7 weeks along before you can verify pregnancy. I don't know. I don't remember what it is. Those days are long ago, but this is way early in the pregnancy. And what Huggies is saying, she just found out minutes ago. I mean, 30 seconds before the commercial starts, she found out that she was pregnant, and they celebrate the fact that there is a little baby in there. Even though she has barely started her pregnancy, there's a little human being in there that's growing inside her womb. So this is fantastic. What a pro-life message. I mean, and we didn't even have to pay for it. Huggies paid for it. Huggies paid millions of dollars to let 110 million people know that it's a baby in the womb of a newly pregnant mother, not some kind of cluster of cells, not a clump of protoplasm, but a living, breathing human being, breathing, of course, through the agency of her mother. So let's play that pro-life ad one more time. Again, I just love this. This is a winnable war moment, ladies and gentlemen. Huggies paying millions of dollars to send a pro-life message to 110 million Americans watching the Super Bowl. Let's listen.
You're going to be a mom.
You're going to be a dad.
There's a little baby there. Yeah. There's a human being growing inside your stomach.
Yeah.
Now what?
Now what? Well, now we go out and buy a bunch of
Introducing
Huggies,
Huggies Mommy Answers,
so we get
the
a little
best
bit
advice.
of bang for our $3 million or whatever they spent for that. So that's pretty terrific stuff. Here's another couple of winnable war moments. There's ABC News had a news story about a baby who was saved by prenatal heart surgery. This is a baby, Josh Andrew Freidlwitz. I don't know how you say his last name, but his heart had an undeveloped left side. So the doctors at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia operated months before he was born. They placed a stent by way of a needle through his mother's abdomen. No child had made it to his or her first birthday after such a procedure until Josh Andrew did so with his parents, Katrina and Tony. So there's ABC News. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're doing heart surgery, that's a baby in there. That's a human being. It's human beings that have heart surgery. This was done months before the baby was born. Here's a story from lifenews.com about the closing of 2 additional abortion clinics, one in Livonia, Michigan, and another one in Minneapolis, Minnesota. These are the 3rd and 4th abortion centers now that have closed shop in 2013 alone. And documentary is being prepared on Beyonce's life. She did the halftime show at the Super Bowl, and it's well publicized that she had a miscarriage that broke her heart. She since conceived and delivered a daughter whose name is Blue Ivy. And here's what she says in this documentary. There's no words that can express having a baby growing inside of you. And she said this, that hearing the baby's heartbeat, listen to this. Now, she's a very gifted musician, sold millions of records, so she's got a voice that people will pay money to listen to. She said that listening to her baby's heartbeat was the most beautiful music I ever heard in my life. So here's a world-class musician, got a $50 million contract with Pepsi to push their product, paid who knows how many millions of dollars to perform at the halftime of the Super Bowl to do music. And she says the most beautiful music I have ever heard in my life is listening to the heartbeat of my baby in the womb. She said there's something so relieving about life taking over you like that. You're playing a part in a much bigger show, and that's what life is. It's the greatest show on earth, beats the Super Bowl, she says, hands down. I felt like God was giving me a chance to assist in a miracle. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fighting a winnable war. Back with your phone calls. Stay with us.